Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means, and the other two are just along for the ride. Mike, say hello.
What up, what up?
We are joined by Kyle Karros. I didn't know which accolade to put in front of your name there, so I'm just going to say Kyle Karros, and we'll just get into all the cool things that you've done this season. What up, man?
What's up? Thank you guys for having me. That intro was pretty legit. I wasn't expecting that.
That's Mike's graphics working.
It's the first time anyone's ever complimented it, so I'll take it.
I mean, it kind of spooked me at the beginning because we were waiting, and then it just jumped right into it, but I liked it.
There we go. Add that to your resume, Mike. Kyle Karros, that's my intro. There we go.
LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah, so joined by Kyle Karros, Gold Glove winner, Northwest League MVP, Northwest League champion. Brought in the winning run to do it somehow, some way. I think I want to start right there with the HBP.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Mike kind of covered it. We kind of talked about it, and I don't think we've ever seen a celebration at first base like that for a championship.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to get it done. But that was just a crazy game. I honestly thought we were going to win it in the ninth. And then when we didn't, I was like, uh-oh, this is trouble. Just the momentum completely switched. But then, yeah, we got some guys on in the 10th. And then they intentionally walked Dion Jorge to load the bases to face me. And I'm like, all right, this game's over. You can't do that. And I was feeling pretty confident. And then, yeah, first pitch just got away from the guy up and in. And I mean, any way to get the job done, honestly. So,
right.
Were you a little upset that you didn't get to, hit the ball or, really get after the pitcher?
Honestly, no. Like I wanted to win so badly. And even like you said, like when I was like walking down to first, I was like trying to like get people to calm down, like just because I didn't need some weird random thing happening where there's like I miss first base or something crazy happens.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to just make sure we won, it was over with, and then we could get after it. But no, I'm so down with getting hit by the pitch and getting the run in. Anyway, I'm happy.
Right. As long as you're winning in the end, that's all that matters. That's true gamer. Grant, what's up, man? JD Games got a question for you, Kyle, there. How do you like Spokane in general? I'm going to answer that two parts: the city, the Northwest region, that whole thing, and then the actual league, playing for the Indians and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got unbelievably lucky with Spokane. I don't know if you guys know this, but I feel like I've mentioned it on many interviews, but I've been vacationing in Coeur d'Alene, which is a lake like 30 minutes away from Spokane, ever since my parents bought a house, like I think it was like 7 years ago. So every summer I've been up in Coeur d'Alene, and ironically you fly into Spokane and then you drive 30 minutes to the lake. So I've loved that area for 7 years now. Every summer I spend there, like it's honestly my happy place. And then I got lucky enough to spend my first year of pro ball there, and I was living in Coeur d'Alene on the lake and just driving in to play a baseball game every night. So I could not have asked for a better setup year one. I honestly like it. I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it was the universe working or what you want to call it, but
it's the baseball gods, man. They're out there.
Something lined up perfectly. And that's not even the only thing that's happened with the Rockies. Just everything so far that I've experienced with them is like, okay, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is the organization for me. These are the people I'm supposed to be with. And that was just, one of many things. The first year in Spokane, in one of my favorite places on earth, I couldn't have drawn it up any better.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you have any roommates?
No, there were some inquiries and applications sent to be a roommate, but I didn't really want to open up that door.
Yeah.
We certainly had some team hangouts and brought some guys over to the house every once in a while. Favorite day of the summer was when we brought who was it? We brought a couple Latins out. I think it was Jesus Bugarine, Jesus Ordonez, Bryant Betancourt. There might have been like a couple more guys, but just to see them, Bugarine didn't even know how to swim, but he was getting in the water, floating around, doing what he can. We got Ordonez up on a wake surf behind a boat. Like it was an unreal day. Boogerine was fishing with a Gatorade bottle and a fishing line. I had poles at the house, but he insisted that he did it like he did back home in Venezuela. And he was reeling fishing line on a Gatorade bottle, and he actually hooked
Wow.
doing it. So that to me was like just, I mean, it was super, super cool to me that I could provide that experience for them, and just see like how stoked they were to be out on the water. I mean, they still are posting pictures to this day. Like last week, I saw a picture up on Boogerine's Instagram of him on the boat. So they loved it. It was super cool for me to see. And I think that's what also made that Spokane group like pretty special, was like the dynamic between Americans and Latins. It was like we were all pretty close, tight knit group, regardless of where they came from. So it was a cool year, special group for sure.
Who had the most convincing application to become a roommate?
I'd probably give it to GJ Hill. He we got into some he's like kind of gone down a rabbit hole in the health world, and he kind of got me to go down that rabbit hole as well. So we were living a very similar lifestyle. And he knows a lot, and I learned a lot from him, to where it was kind of intriguing for me to like, okay, maybe if I had him around, like he could show me like some things in the kitchen or like what he's doing. So I thought about that one for a little bit, but other than that, it was tough because I had family coming in, family and friends. They came throughout the season. So I didn't need my dad asking to stay in his own home and me saying, sorry, not this weekend, Carrick's in here, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that would have gone over well.
That's pretty cool. I love the experience. Like we hear a lot of like team bonding kind of being the chemistry that goes into baseball teams. Like, I mean, 2007 Colorado Rockies, right? Like Spilly was kind of that glue guy in the locker room. Heard it from a few guys that we've talked to. The group like that's in Albuquerque right now, Stovall, Levine, Coco, they were all in Spokane a few years ago. Same kind of run you all did, kind of like it just all kind of hit and it's all happening all at one time, and just that chemistry kind of builds off of each other. And like it sounds like this group that's kind of maturing together right now is kind of has that same kind of vibe going. It's good to hear, like as fans, that
for sure.
Awesome.
I don't know what it was, but when me and Carrie got sent out to Fresno right after the draft, we got super close with a lot of the younger Latins on that team. And obviously we're super tight knit with our own draft class, but to kind of bridge it into, you know, like American and Latin, like I texted Dion texted me like yesterday, and we were just like catching up. Like he's got a wife and a kid, and like I'm very involved. The kid calls me his uncle. Like it's a good thing we got going on, and I don't know what to attribute it to, but I'm very thankful for the relationships we have, or at least we had in Spokane.
Yeah, and that's stuff that's not going to go away. Like the things that we were talking about off air before we were hopping on. Like you have those friends that you're in California, and you got these new friends being foreign from professional baseball up in Spokane, of all random places, like divine intervention, baseball god stuff kind of happening there. Exactly. That's awesome.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So then the Gold Glove announcement Monday. You're one of, I think, 10 minor leaguers. I'm assuming they gave out just as many as they did in the pros. Got the Gold Glove at third base this year. How does that feel? Like your dad doesn't have one, so that's a nice little thing. But like just getting that accolade and that recognition of just being kind of a dog at the hot corner.
No, it feels great. That one definitely meant a lot to me. I take a lot of pride in my defense. That was one of the things that I credit UCLA a lot for, is just you know, the emphasis we put on defensive work. I think it often gets like kind of overlooked, especially like in professional baseball. I think everyone knows like you got to be able to play a position to play in the big leagues. But until then, like I think like high school and college, like no one really even focuses on defense. Everyone's just like, if you can hit, you're gonna play. So I was introduced to like that whole nother side of the game at UCLA, and I honestly I fell in love with it. I really enjoyed the fundamental drills we were doing. Really everything about it, I took a lot of pride in it. And then I also kind of like, it meant a lot to me to win the Gold Glove just because I feel like naturally I get this rap just because I'm like a bigger dude. I'm 6'5", playing third base. Like you don't see that too often. I think everyone's like quick to jump to conclusions. Like, can he play there? Is he going to end up at first? Like, what's the deal? And I know I can play third base at a high level. So to get some recognition, and hopefully the whole transition to first base doesn't really cross anyone's mind after I win a Gold Glove at third. But just like I'm happy to play over anywhere like I need to play to get into a lineup, but I don't want anyone throwing me at first base just because I'm tall, you know. And I think having a good season and getting some recognition in the Gold Glove, I think that like it means a lot to me to kind of have that as like if like I can play third base. I'm tall, sure, but I can still move and I can play it pretty well.
Did Ryan McMahon give you any tips in the spring?
Yeah, we actually took grounders a couple times together. And I mean, I wasn't really quick to like pick his brain. I didn't want to be like the young kid, like being super obnoxious or anything. But I mean, we talked a bit about kind of just more life stuff, and kind of what I was about to go through because obviously he's been through it. But I did learn a lot just from watching him. I mean, that guy's about as smooth as it gets over there. Just the way he can throw from any position and makes it look effortless. I definitely took a lot of notes taking ground balls with him. But yeah, he's one of the best to do it. So it's very, very helpful to see that up close and try to mimic it to my best ability.
Yeah, it's the lineage at third base in Colorado. It's pretty insane going from Nolan to Rymack, and you're obviously next, right? And then you had like shortstops with Troy Tulowitzki, Trevor Story, and then you got Tovar winning a Gold Glove, and like the infield that is created by the Colorado Rockies organization is incredible. Like B-Rod has a Gold Glove over there. Totally has no slouch at first. Like it's insane. Like how they're finding you all and then continuing to developing you into this. Like, would you have, as a senior or whenever your last year at college, would you have guessed that you'd be a Gold Glove winner?
Well, I wanted to win one in college. My junior year, I missed like half the season. I sprained my ankle and then I like missed half the season. And then when I came back, like I came back at like way too early. So I couldn't really play defense to the best of my ability. But like before I got a sprained ankle, like it was definitely in my head. Like I wanted a Gold Glove. It was actually, I spent a couple weeks in the Cape Cod League, and that was when I met Ryan Ritter, and he had won a Gold Glove in college, and we were chatting about it, and I'm like, dude, there's no reason I can't win this thing too. And then flash forward, and we're in the same org, pretty cool. But it was definitely on my mind. It's been on my mind, just because I love defense just as much as I like hitting. And obviously there's no bigger award to win than a Gold Glove in your position. So it was definitely in the back of my mind. Pretty much every day I was going through defensive work or playing a game.
Yeah. Was there anything the Rockies kind of taught you differently to take you up to that next level? I guess maybe that's the question. It's not what did they teach you, but like, how did they up your game at your first professional season? Like,
I think it's pretty obvious they put a lot of emphasis on defense. Just playing in Colorado, you don't really want to be giving the other team extra outs, just because it is like it's a very hitter friendly ballpark. The ball flies all over the yard. So when you're provided with outs, like you need to make the outs. So I think that's been an emphasis of theirs, and it makes total sense. And then Doug Bernier, he's kind of the head fielding guy with the Rockies, and we saw eye to eye on a lot of things, which I don't know, just kind of allowed me, like, just because we were super on the same page with a lot of things, it allowed me to, like go for it, like go all in with it. I wasn't like kind of thinking my own thing, but then like, oh no, I need to do this for the Rockies, but like I believe in this. Like it all lined up very, very similarly to where I could just like play freely with what I believed in. And that's when you're gonna be at your best, is when you're playing how you think you should play, not when you're trying to like please anyone or do this for someone else. So I'm very fortunate that we have, a good brain at the head of the defensive stuff with this organization, to where, it doesn't feel, I'm not trying to put on an act for anyone. Our beliefs fall in line with another, so I can just go out and play.
Yeah, that ease, that comfort zone probably helps a lot. It's like, did you ever feel some extra pressure? I mean, you obviously come from lineage yourself with your dad being the stud that he was
Mhm.
growing up. And I'm sure he said some things and helped you kind of prepare. I'm sure you were just prepared for that moment. But like, was there any pressure ever for you, like on that first professional season? Like, just
I think so.
being
Yeah,
all up in it.
definitely. Like, just because I just, not so much pressure from anyone other than like myself. Like, I know what I'm capable of. I know I didn't necessarily show my best at UCLA, whether it was injuries or what the deal was. I believe I'm way better than a 5th round pick. And so it was just a matter of going out and showing other people that as well. There was no really doubt in my mind of where I stack up against other professional baseball players. But just to go out there, and you have to produce at some point. Like, it can't all just be like projection, and this guy, he's going to be a good player. Like, at some point you got to go out there and produce. So I think there was a little bit of like urgency there. And but at the same time, I think there was a lot of like almost relief that came with a professional season versus a college season, just because the professional season, like, I knew I was going to get 500 at bats, and I didn't put too much weight into like the nightly stat lines, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas in college, like, if I have a bad weekend, like, that's going to show up on the end of the year stats. Whereas here, I mean, I could just go out, try new things, play around with stuff, and really over 20 doesn't even show up at the end of the year. So I think I took a lot of like relief in that side of things and just went out there and played baseball.
Yeah, and it shows. Like, I mean, the MVP nod, I'm sure that was kind of a surprise to you as well, maybe.
I mean, yeah, if you would have told me all this at the beginning of the year, I would have been like, yeah, no, that's not happening. But I mean, once I kind of got into it, like mid-season, I was like, I knew all of these things were very realistic and attainable for me.
Yeah. And then, so that kind of leads into my question. I asked my son, he's first grader right now. I was like, what question do you have for somebody who was really good at defense and was the best at his league? I reworded it, but in a roundabout way, is what expectations did you set for yourself at the beginning of the year to be successful in the end?
Well, I will say I tried not to like do any like stat expectations. There was no like, oh, I want to have less than 10 errors or anything like that. I would just say, I mean, what the preparation that went in to allow me to win the Gold Glove, I would say it's the everyday stuff, and not cutting corners. But I'd take it a step further and say, like, when you really enjoy something, like, cutting corners doesn't really cross your mind at any point. Like, when I go out and do like old, like we call it a red machine work. It's like a little red machine that just shoots out little foam balls at you. And like, there's zero part of me that like wants to like skip a rep or like half-ass a rep. Like, that I genuinely enjoy defense a lot, to the point where, I mean, we were doing that red machine. It's supposed to be some like kind of like you get on your knees and it's very like mechanical and monotonous and do your thing. And like, I mean, it ended up being like a free for all where we were just running. Like, there'd be like 4 of us taking grounders, and we had the music going. We were just ripping ground balls, like having fun with it. And I just say, like, that's really what like allowed me to win a Gold Glove, is that I genuinely enjoy defense a lot. So the like hard work, monotonous, routine stuff, like it doesn't feel that way. I could do that for forever. I could take ground balls forever, and I would.
Yeah.
Now that we're in the off season, and I know you're in school, what are you focusing like most to improve your game on this off season?
Good question.
I would say I would say hitting like bad off speed pitches. Just because, I mean, my approach this year was obviously all over the fastball. And then you see how teams start to pitch you differently once you have success with stuff. Everything I've heard about like AA is like, I'm going to get slidered to death. Like that's just how they pitch there. And they're probably not going to throw me a lot of fastballs after the year I had and my numbers off of fastballs. So I'd say, like hitting the bad breaking balls that are kind of left up in the zone. If I can like get more production on those, I think I'm going to be in a really good spot. And then just continuing, because it was an emphasis this year, like, okay, we need you to like you got to be like a power hitter, just being like your size, your position. But the Rockies like did it in a really good way. They weren't like, we need you to hit 15 home runs and do this. Like it wasn't like that at all. They were very like, you're a hitter first, let your power come naturally. And I honestly was skeptical. I'm like, okay, like I like that. Like that seems like it takes a lot of pressure off me. But it happened. Like a lot of credit to them. Like they kind of went about it the right way. I think if they would have been on me more to like produce more, I think that things may have worked out differently. But they were kind of hands off and just trusted my abilities and trusted that power would come. And it did this past season. So I think I definitely want to continue to see the power numbers go up and producing more at a high level, like maybe more home runs. But at the same time, like I think a lot of that comes with just age, getting stronger, being a smarter hitter, knowing what counts to kind of, maybe like try to do a little more in. So I'd say it's that. And then, yeah, the off speed stuff. I think, I mean, I'm not trying to revamp anything. Like I like the swing I have right now. It's not like I just had a bad year and I'm going in the off season like, all right, here we go, start from scratch, figure it out. Just like fine tuning a couple things, but I'm excited. I'm in a good spot and I'm ready for next year, honestly.
Yeah, it's cool. Like it's cool knowing what you want to work on going in, like as a fan. And I don't know, that question's always very fun for me to hear an answer to. It's because
For sure.
You're at the top of your game, right? You're at the top of that level. It's like, all right, so then what are you doing for the next piece? And you seem hungry, you seem aware, you seem like you're ready to take it to that next level.
Another thing I'd say with baseball is just it just happens is like if you got me 1 month, I would tell you that I just figured out my swing and this is the swing I'm going to have for the entire rest of my career. Like I figured it out. And then like literally like a week and a half later, I have a new swing. And that's just baseball. And I think I'm kind of more of an extreme example of that. Like I do play around with my swing a lot. Just like it might not look like it to the outside eye, but I feel like I got a new stance like almost every at bat. But that's just baseball, and more so that's just like how I play baseball. Is like I'm constantly making little tweaks. Something feels right, something feels bad. So it's never a finished product. There's always going to be work to be done and little improvements here and there.
Yeah. Speaking of work that needs to be done and little improvements that we all need. Oh, I don't know how to. The setup was there and I messed it up. How can Mike fix it?
I got you.
So Braiden Ward is here. We're trying to get Braiden Ward on
chat.
on the screen here. But it's old teammates. I mean, you guys play.
Hey,
there we go. Now we're full screen. Braiden Ward is in the house. What up, Big?
What up? How y'all doing?
Doing all right. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out.
Kyle, you're looking as good as ever.
Dude, I'm trying to do my best you impression with the mustache. It's not as dark and full as yours, but I'm working on it.
0% chance that's happening. We're gonna have to see. We're actually gonna see an update at the end of the summertime. We need the Kyle Karros off season.
I'm going Movember for sure.
I have to.
Okay.
We'll see if it lasts into December. Probably not. It's already starting to look a little bad.
You can trim it up. You'll be able to trim it up a little bit. You'll be able to keep it clean. I think you can do it. I mean, if you can hit a fastball, you can
grow a mustache. I don't know if it translates like that, but hopefully.
So we won't take up too much more of your time, Kyle. But now that Braiden's here, we have a few questions for the two of you.
Let's get it.
So speak highly of each other. You guys were teammates for what, 3 months, 2 months?
Something like that. Not long
Something
enough.
No,
Not long enough.
not long enough. Great answer. What is something the other one does really, really well? It can be baseball, it can be life, it can be any of it. And Braiden,
Kyle's pretty good at chess, and I made it my mission to beat his butt in the clubhouse.
Which he never did.
No,
maybe
I
like
beat you
or
once, and then I
Maybe
had you up against the ropes 2 or 3 times, and I blundered and lost.
Mhm.
You didn't beat me, I lost.
That's what happens. However, I think, I mean, you've stuck to the chess game. I've completely abandoned it.
No, my elo's in the 1100s now, so I
know.
kick your butt now.
I know. Like, we're going to break out a board in spring training, and I'm going
Have
to get
to.
my ass kicked.
Right in the locker room.
Yeah.
If you want to go live with it, we can
We'll
find
stream
some
it,
way
yeah.
to sponsor.
I'll make a way
BSB
to
can
make
sponsor
it
the
happen.
chess match of the spring if we need
Dude,
to.
I'm not trying to get beat on live television.
I'm trying to win on live television, I'll tell you that.
Oh.
So Kyle's really good at chess.
No, he's
Kyle,
good at
what's
chess,
Braiden
but
good at?
another good thing is, and I've said this before, the Rockies draft really good guys, but Kyle is at the forefront of that. He is such a good human being. He brings life to the clubhouse every day. I love having him as a teammate. It sucks he's from UCLA, but you can't be perfect. And as perfect as he is, that's his only flaw.
Making Kyle blush over there.
I know, right? He's just, oh my goodness. I wasn't prepared for this.
Dude, our times in Vancouver,
Yeah, I mean,
going to the
I will
Roxy.
say, I mean, for me, Ward was like, I mean, it was him and a little bit of Trevor Boone too, but like I kind of needed like an older dude, just because like me and Carrick kind of showed up on the scene and we were a little like clueless, and I mean, I needed definitely some like maturity and someone who's kind of been through it. And I think Ward was like the perfect guy for that, in that like he took care of his stuff on the field. He knew how to have a good time off the field. And I pretty quickly learned like how to go about like life in professional baseball. Cause you can't be like all baseball, but like you need to take baseball seriously. But like Ward seemed to have that figured out, pretty well. So to see him go through it, and learn from that, it definitely helped me a ton.
Is he the fastest player you've ever witnessed?
Yeah. I mean, we had, dude, at UCLA, we had color schemes for each runner. And it was like red is slow, yellow, green. And then like every once in a while you'd see a blue. And then like there was only one blue plus in all of college baseball.
Put a plus on it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Blue plus, Braiden Ward. Yeah. And at UW, I mean, he literally, if you hit a chopper, it was a hit. I think that happened many of times, but we couldn't figure him out.
I didn't even think about you guys playing against each other because you probably overlapped 1 year, right?
I think it's
1 year.
1, yeah.
Yeah, 1 year. Do you remember any of those throwdowns, Braiden? Like,
so I was boys with Matt McClain. So the only thing I remember about that series was just talking smack with Matt McClain. And I remember, I guess we could say this now, but it was like still kind of COVID. And obviously we're not supposed to hang out. And me and Matt would just like leave after the game, go get in and out.
Yeah, that's
Savage and Megs would have been so pissed at us. But
that's breaking quarantine protocol.
Oh well.
3
But
years
no,
later.
Ward probably doesn't remember me, but I remember Ward because it was a like specific team meeting at a time. They have this blue plus runner on UW, and he's fast as hell, and he was so.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, because I mean that was one of Braiden's first things he told us. He just loves to cause the chaos on the base pass with his speed and that kind of stuff. So you saying the chopper and getting on base and that the blue plus dot next to his name would, it's kind of full circle. That's hilarious. I love that. So I guess what do you guys have a favorite baseball moment together? I know it only overlapped for about 2-3 months there, but is there one game, one moment that just kind of stands out more than the others together?
Mine with Ward is off the field. Like we just
That's what I'm the exact same way.
We had a beautiful night in Vancouver. He had been, so he kind of knew the ins and outs of Vancouver. It was my first time in Vancouver. It's a really beautiful area. Fun
Hey, what'd you used to call me?
Huh?
What'd you call me in Vancouver? The mayor?
Oh, no, dude. We were calling you the prime minister because this guy like literally knew everything about the place. But that was probably my favorite memory with Ward. Was just we went out, we grabbed dinner, went out, had a good time, kind of explored the city a little bit.
Talk some philosophical stuff, big picture ideas.
Me and Ward will get deep too. Like we don't shy
that.
away from the deep conversations. But yeah, that was a fun night in Vancouver.
I mean, that's the thing with baseball too, is because like early on, we're not playing any games that matter really much. Like you can say every game matters, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, we all know once the postseason hits, once the playoff race gets close,
yeah,
you start to pick it up. And so we're playing early baseball, having fun, winning everything, and just to go out and, you know, experience normality for the first time, because we're not good. Like in Spokane, I think I maybe went out once after a game with some friends, but we're not going out nonstop. And so to have an off day in Vancouver and, you know, get to actually, you know, be normal, because you spend 6 months doing the same thing every day, and your one off day might be a travel day going 7 hours.
Yeah, that was another thing I appreciate about Braiden is just he did, like, he was aware of the routine you fall into as a minor leaguer, and he was good about like still being like a normal. I don't know how old you are, but that was like one of my big things is like I still want to have some fun. I still want to be like a normal 22-year-old at some point. And Ward did a good job in showing me how to do that while still taking care of my stuff on the field.
Oh yeah, like I remember. This was gonna sound silly, but I remember one of our favorite things we used to do, which if we had an off day at home, we go to Coeur d'Alene, we go to the movie theater, just go watch a movie.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was dumb or not, but as simple as that is, you know, we don't do that during the season. And so to go out and be able to have a sit down dinner and then watch a movie, whether it's as dumb as heck, I think it was Planet of the Apes that we watched, and I hated it. But
whatever was shown in the theater, that one Civil War was horrible.
Civil War was so bad.
We all walked out of the theater like that was one of the worst movies we've ever seen. But we still had a good time. Like we got out of the house and did something normal, like Ward's saying.
That's good to hear. Like that takes me back to my college days. Like we just would hang out. We go handle our business school stuff, and then we go to the movie theater. Sometimes we double dip. We do the double ticket.
Yeah.
We get in and we just go to movie theater 5 right after we got out of movie theater 4, and just stupid things like that. And it just takes it back. And thinking about it as a professional, because you guys are like adults, right? But like not quite. But I don't know. It's just kind of weird how it all. It's a whole different lifestyle, but it really doesn't.
We're all real people with real lives and like normal 22-year-old interests, you know?
Right. And I think that gets lost sometimes, especially in the monotony that is baseball, like 162 games. Like you're going 6 days a week at the same thing, same place, and those off days are very rare. So
same routine, nonstop. Your mom calls and she's like, "Oh, you do anything new?" Same thing
with
every day.
Time, mom. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. And we hear a lot of the veteran presence in the minor leagues helping some of the younger cats kind of settle in, like you said, Kyle, that Braiden did for you. It's cool. It's just a thing. Like that's just the human nature coming through.
Kyle, how many home runs you finished with?
15.
I remember him and Carrick too. You know, you don't, especially in the Northwest League. You know, hitting home runs in the beginning sucks.
Yeah.
Hitting in the beginning general sucks. Kind of hit the panic button. I remember telling both of them, listen, Kyle especially, he had 1 home run through like the first month, maybe.
And it was inside the park, dude. It didn't even.
And he's like, dude, I got to hit more home runs. Like, this is BS, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, just relax. You're going to.
Oh, awesome.
Wow.
That was the little life nugget.
He said, like, once the weather heats up, like, you're going to be just fine. And it did. I mean, it wasn't just the weather. Like, I did clean some stuff up with my swing and everything, but he was right, and he knows his stuff. He's been through it.
I'm back.
He's back.
You're back.
Got a FaceTime call and it kicked me out.
No, Kyle, finish your sentence there for you. Just relax in the winter. The first part of that season up in the Northwest just sucks. And sure enough, like we talk about that all the time. Like like it was weird. It was the year before you, it was Yank, Kokoska, and who was the other one? They just hit like 15 bombs in the Northwest League early. And we're like, this isn't very normal.
No.
And it was like, this isn't okay. Like they just had their own little home run derby going back and forth.
Yeah.
It was wild. But yeah, Kyle, I think
Cool.
way past your time. I appreciate you hanging out with us a little bit farther than we expected.
Yeah, you got to kick me out of here because me and Ward could chat all day.
Yeah, you guys leave. We'll just keep it
You
going.
guys need like a sitcom.
Just BSB leaves with Braiden and Kyle doing their thing.
Yeah.
But Kyle, congratulations on the Gold Glove, the MVP, the Northwest League Championship, all of the first season accolades that you got, and just keep being a dog and keep rocking it out.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Ward, great seeing you guys.
Hey, love you, brother.
Happy to come on
Yeah, man.
anytime.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
All right,
Appreciate
cool.
it, Kyle.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, now
It's about time we got rid of that guy.
Yeah, now we can have the real conversation. So, what's Kyle really like?
Yeah. God, I hate him.
Yeah, no, he was saying a lot about the camaraderie up in Spokane and going out to the lake, hanging out, and kind of just being dogs and being dudes together was
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
a big thing that stood out to him up in Spokane, just beyond the baseball piece. It was awesome. But
Sometimes
before we
you
get
to be young, dumb, and stupid's fun.
right, and then having the expert there, the old head leading the way, right?
Spent 3 years there, so
Yeah. How great was it to get out? Like, I
It
know
was
we talked
sweet.
a little bit.
yeah, it was a good thing, especially because like I said, I spent half a year in Fresno, half a year in Spokane. Knew I was going back to Spokane, spent a whole year there, didn't play that much, whatever. But I spent time with that team, and then to go back, I was disappointed, but at the same time grateful because I got to get some at bats and find myself, and then get to rejoin that team that I love. Not that I didn't love the Spokane team, but
Yeah, it's your
so it
guys,
was a lot
right?
of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, like moving up to Hartford. We talked to Julie shortly after your call up, and he was like, one of the things, like he didn't know we were friends of the pod, but he didn't know we were family. He's like, one guy that just kind of showed up was Braiden Ward, and I absolutely love watching Braiden Ward play baseball, like the energy he brings, and like, so your presence was felt as soon as you showed up in the ballpark, and I'm sure that's probably common stance for you. But like, did you? I guess, like, how did that kind of that whole transition and the feeling going into the Eastern League, the gauntlet that it is?
Well, it's hard, but at the same time, like everyone's going through the same thing. It's travel's a little easier. The bus rides are a little better. Field's amazing. Spokane was sweet, especially with the renovations. But Hartford's Hartford. But like the league sucks because it's so hard, and just to go through that grind with everyone there it's fun. Especially, like I said, I got hot fast and then cooled off. But just knowing that I can do it, and knowing that that's what I got, and when I'm at my best, I'm an animal. It's fun.
I was gonna say you settled in very quickly in Hartford.
Really?
Why was the reason? Was that just like it was just you playing baseball? Or did you get advice? Like, how did that happen?
Well, I just don't miss the fastball. That's the key to it. Like, and I think I noticed by the end of the year, they weren't pitching me that different. I was just, whether I was tired or something changed in the stance, I just was missing the fastball. And you miss that 0-0-0-1 heater. Here comes slider, changeup. That's a secret hit. Just don't miss it.
Don't miss the fastball.
They throw it down the middle, hit it.
It's that simple, right?
It literally is.
You had that 2 home run game up in Hartford. It was that simple. You played one player of the week that week. No stolen bases. I thought that was kind of weird when you had that player of the week nod.
I'm a power hitter. What do you expect? I'm just kidding.
I know. Like,
No,
that was my question. Like, did you say, like, after this week, I'm just gonna swing for the fences all the time and just stop stealing bases?
It's tough because you get to Hartford and they kind of want you. They don't want. I like to run like whenever, and they really wanted me to try to be selective with my running. And so I tried it, and so they're either telling me don't steal here, etc. Which again, that's like I could have had more bags, but at the same time they were kind of holding me up a little bit. I don't know why.
Did you ever run
just let him eat?
That's what I'm saying.
Did you ever run and and the coaches after were like, you shouldn't have done that?
Oh yeah, I remember Louis one time. He told me not to run, and I'm stupid sometimes, so I heard it, but it didn't register, and I stole second. And I was safe, and I kind of got chewed out after because obviously you got to listen to the coach. And I'm like, yeah, I messed up, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, that's a bag.
Yeah, it's a lot easier coming back to the dugout when you get the stolen base, not when you get.
Yeah, but if you get thrown out and he says don't go, see ya.
Yeah.
Was that something they worked on with you though, like starting to slow yourself down and like kind of looking at the time and place to do it?
Yeah,
Or were
because they do a good job. You get to the Eastern League, you notice in the Northwest League, pitchers are still young. They don't know when to do stuff. But, you get to AA, everyone can get called up to the bigs that day.
Right.
So they better be ready to be able to hold runners on in the big leagues. They can't always just be Seth Halverson and strike everybody out. And so, or Doe and do the same thing. So,
Right.
They got good at picking, they got good at doing time picks at second. That was a big one. And so, it slows you down a little bit, but you got to be able to get past it. I low-key wanted the Dodgers to win just because West Coast, best coast, but I loved seeing the Yankees steal on them and seeing the Dodgers pitchers with those high leg kicks. Pissed me off, but I was like, steal, just keep going, Jazz.
Like, do your thing. It's right there.
Yeah,
Go.
make us look good.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Because I mean, I think you were 90% clip on the season, right around the 90% mark on the stolen base clip. Still have that in your bag. But I mean, like defensively, once you got to Hartford, you only played second base 4 times. How much of a relief was that?
Like 3 years. I just didn't play it that much. Got a little cold there, but wait, say that question again.
How great was it not to play second base anymore?
I mean, I love second because I love the action. I'm trying to get this light in there. I love the action, but center field's my home. I've spent most of my college career there, most of my in general career there, and so to be trusted and to know that and to be handed the keys because Benny got hurt, and for them to say, here you go, go do your thing. And the pitchers loved me out there. They tell me all the time they felt comfortable. They knew if the ball didn't get caught, it's because no one was catching it. You know, and you got a lot of big shoes to fill in the Rockies organization as a center fielder. Bretton Doyle 2 times in a row, baby. Let's go. Ezekiel Tovar, let's go. But defense is huge, and I even preach to the Latins because they want to hit home runs and keep their average up, and you got to hit your way to the big leagues, but at the same time, you still got to play defense.
Still got to be able to use the
and
glove.
It matters too. You get to playoffs, you can see it. You make that one mistake. We made one mistake. Me and Ritter, I threw a ball in, it short hopped him, got away, they score a run. That might have been the difference. There's a lot of other stuff that happened too, but it's little things. I think this, like playoffs, for instance, I think we lost those games. They didn't beat us.
Honestly, that is what it felt like as a fan. I remember watching those games and just like, because I know exactly what play you were talking about, you and Ritter there. It's like, it was right there, and you guys were so close, but it was just like that one little tick that was just off for whatever reason it was. They were fun games. Like
I loved it. I remember telling the boys too, especially in Spanish. I forget how to say it now, but I was just saying enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Don't be nervous.
Was there a certain aura around Duncan Park being the first playoff game in a hot minute?
I don't know about that. The fans were great, but in the clubhouse, what was weird is in the clubhouse, I don't think anyone was nervous. We were way more nervous, I think, when we were in the hunt for the first half, playing against Harrisburg and Akron. I mean, holy heck, my heart rate was going. But when we were in the playoffs, it felt we deserved to be there. Everyone was locked in. We were ready to go. We were ready to kill. And so it was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And hopefully we get to, whether I'm in AA, AAA, riding a taxi, who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to win something.
What are you doing this offseason to prepare for next year?
I haven't really started baseball activity yet. I'll start probably in December, but right now I'm in Montana. I've been chasing elk the last 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah. Our local hunter Grant here says nice rack. He saw the rack behind you.
Oh yeah. Little whitetail. Yeah, no, I just became a Montana resident, and so here you said it was Grant.
Yeah.
Hey Grant, my general license, my elk tag, deer tag, upland game and waterfowl cost me $70, which is so cheap.
Let's see.
Okay,
Grant
I was
says.
like, I don't know what that means,
I
but
mean, see
that's
what Grant
awesome.
says to that. How much he pays.
Yeah. My mom and stepdad live up in Hamilton, Montana. So we were up there in July. It's beautiful up there.
They got hunting land or what?
No, they just have a
Dang.
house. He goes hunting every once in a while, but he might have some land. I might be able to ask. I know he has
Yeah, ask.
a sister out
They're in
there who's been
Montana.
out there a
They
while.
definitely have some land.
Yeah, I'll ask around. I'll let you know.
I tell you what, it was so. Here's a funny story for you. Is my first time elk hunting, and we've seen a bunch, but I'm chasing a bull, and we've seen a bunch of cows, which are females. And our very first day, my buddy's telling me, because he obviously lives up here. He's like, hey, like there's grizzlies around every corner, or there could be like the one paw, take your head off. And you walk around with handguns as you're going through like the thick timber where the grizzlies could be. And so I'm walking through and I have it out. And he's like, what do you have that out for already? They're not going to be here. And I'm like, all right, I'll put it away. About 20 yards later, it's pitch black, 4 a.m., 10 degrees. I hear a growl, the deep growl. Headlamp comes on. I'm looking. I can't see anything. His handgun comes out. He looks at me and he goes, that's not good. And we're supposed to walk like that direction, then go up the hill. And we're like, well, looks like we're going up the hill right here.
Oh shit, that was
my
that's
introduction
freaky.
to elk hunting.
There you
Having
go, yeah,
a
welcome
random
to
noise
Montana.
growl at me.
Oh man, that's insane.
Get your blood going. I'm like, oh, there goes my base bucker. I'm gonna die here.
Yeah, I mean, you're faster than the other guy,
I was
right?
gonna say,
I mean,
you
you
can
have to
run
be.
I just gotta
so-
shoot him in the knee and I'm fine.
right. That's wild. Have you been successful? You got any elk yet?
No elk, but we've been got some pheasants, ducks, and geese. We're little hunters, but I can get a deer whenever I want. There are more deer here than people where we live. So
It's insane. It's scary.
no, it's stupid. Like it's actually you get angry. You're like, how is it this easy?
Yep.
And like the elk are smart too, because a bunch of the elk have come out of the the mountains that are on private land, so you can see them. But in order to shoot them, you got to spend like $3 to $10,000 to the landowner.
Right. Yeah, they know what they have.
Oh yeah, so we're like I said, we're going deep. I've hiked 35 miles this week alone.
So staying fit. There's your
Oh
activity.
yeah. I remember I hit my personal trainer. I texted him. I said, hey, I'm not hitting legs or cardio this week.
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Captain. Have you been hunting with Aaron Shunk? He's I know he goes fishing. He might do a little hunting.
But me and Shunk have talked about fishing a bunch, especially because my buddy who I'm here with, he guides up here for fly fishing, and it's some of the best fly fishing in the entire country. It's like you don't catch anything under 18, 19 inches, and I'm catching trout that are 30 inches. I got Montana Fish of the Month like a year ago.
It's a whole different world
Add
up
that
there,
to
like
the resume.
the wild.
Oh yeah. No, it's beautiful out here too.
Add it
Like
to the rest.
getting to wake up and getting to wake up early and watch the world wake up around you. It's something special. I got some good photos.
Yeah, I bet. Are you
hunt
staying
in
there until
Spokane?
February, March, until it's time to go to Arizona?
Say it again.
Mike, you go.
Did you hunt in Spokane, or did you do anything like that over there?
I had some friends. I didn't hunt, but I had some friends that had some land up in Spokane that I could have deer hunted or turkey hunted on, but I didn't. I fished a bunch, but that's about it.
There you go.
Yeah. Are you staying up there until spring training?
No, I'll head back. I head back in like a week, and then I go to Hawaii, and then I come back, and then I pretty much start the grind. I won't do anything again until spring training. Baseball activity starts. Like I said, I've been lifting every day. But baseball will start in December.
Yeah, you're kind of off season. Your rum spring of sorts is
gotta feel normal again,
Yeah, I mean, like life balance, like work-life balance, really is real. And I think again, like you're a baseball player, but you still need that different mode. You need to switch it up every once in a while. Like everybody needs to. And the fact that you're able to do that and you realize that, I'm sure it's just going to make you a better ball player, better mentally. Like I'm sure that's.
What's crazy about this season out of all the other seasons? Because this kind of hit me. This is the first year I wasn't ready to be done, in the sense that this is the first time we were in playoffs. And so when I was in Spokane the last 2 years, we weren't making playoffs, and you had a set day when we were done. There was a countdown, there was a clock, so you could mentally prepare. This day I'm done. We drive back, this is my flight, etc. This is the first time where there wasn't, if best case scenario was we won the playoffs and that was last day. And so you weren't mentally ready. I was mentally ready to keep playing and keep going and win the whole thing. And so to lose in playoffs and to be done just like that, it was weird. Like I didn't feel like the season ended. It didn't feel like the off season started. It was just such a wild feeling this year, which was interesting. And so that's a good thing too, that I wanted to keep going. I wanted to definitely could have kept going, playing in Denver. I was ready. I could have done 162.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit right in there. But that's a big thing because we hear like the grind of minor leagues and it kind of weeds out the ball players, the mentally tough stuff. Like it's all connected. I feel like it's all there for a purpose. And so the fact that you're recognizing that, like, hey, that's that clicks. That's that life moment there. That's huge. Like, I don't know, like I get in ruts at my own work. I get in ruts as a dad, as just a person, just like, oh, this sucks. And then it's like, no, you know what? Take a deep breath. It's going to be all right. Let's find that passion again. It's in there. So New Orleans, I went to New Orleans a few weeks ago. Have you heard of the Skeleton House that's there? You're gonna have to look this up when we're done, but I thought of you when I was there, which is really weird. But
I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's a skeleton house, so they put up a bunch of random skeletons, but it is a Taylor Swift theme this year.
Let's go.
What is it? So it's the skeleton house. The year's theme was Taylor Swift, the Scaras Tour.
Sick.
And so it's a really like punny vibes. They all dressed up like 100 skeletons, and they all have like a certain pun based on a Taylor Swift song.
That's sick.
So you're gonna go to the Instagram. I'm sure like Instagram has all the pictures of it. It's hilarious. But
I know where
I was thinking of you a little bit ago.
So I know where I'm going from New Year's this year.
Yeah, hopefully it's still up. It's a Halloween thing, I know, but it still might be up there. I don't know, but they do something funny every year with the Skeleton House. But it's Taylor Swift themed. Did you hit up the tour? She's been around. Have you?
Nah, prices got a little too steep for me.
Yeah,
that was like $1,200, and although seeing the Tortured Poets department might be worth it, I don't know. Did you see her save Patrick Mahomes last night?
Yeah,
I did not see that.
Yeah, he almost tore his. Yeah, he almost tore his like Achilles or something. She worked her voodoo magic from the stands. All of Twitter was talking about it.
Came back, yeah.
I'll have to go find that. She's everything that we want her to be, I guess.
Yeah, just America's hero.
Do you ever try and play that in the locker room? And what are the people saying? Do they like?
Well, it's funny. Well, no, I would never do that because I know everyone hates it. But it was funny. I remember when I hit that walk-off home run, I come in and Hardy, he's like, Ward, what song you want? What you want some Taylor Swift? We'll put it on for you. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I put on something they'd like. But I just thought that was a cute moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can see Hardy saying that too.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. All right, let's get out of here. Let's end our time together. I appreciate you hanging out. But before I do, I asked my son, he's a first grader, 7 years old. I told him like, hey, I'm talking to somebody that's really fast today. What do you want to ask him? And his simple question is, how did you get so fast, and how do you stay so fast?
I was always kind of fast growing up. But it's a weird thing. It might have been it. It might have not been it. But when I was younger, I did BMX racing, which, if you know what that is, it's like riding a bike on a dirt bike track. And it's quick twitch, fast, and you just go as fast as you can. And so maybe my leg muscles just developed those quick twitch muscles, and I just became insane. Because honestly, like almost everyone I know that BMX race, like the ones that were good, they were all fast, like they could run. And there might be something to it.
There might be something to that. Just being active. Like, did you do that while playing other sports as well?
Yeah, like I was playing baseball and stuff. I actually remember my legs were so big when I was younger. Like I'd be sitting there and like my quad, I'm like 12, and my quads are touching.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I had these massive legs, and so maybe I should do that again.
Just get into BMX again. See how the Rockies organization likes that.
It's so dangerous, though. I break my collarbone.
Yeah, Probably the second time out.
Forbes wouldn't be happy. I'm sure that's not in the contract.
No, there's 0% chance. But yeah, I mean that would make sense. I would. All right, so I'm gonna get him a BMX bike for Christmas.
Boom.
Well, I'm sure Braiden also had good grades. I'm sure he listened to his dad. So I'm sure there's
no, actually, I did honestly. I was actually really good. I was a how do I say it? My teachers used to call me Eddie Haskell because I was smart and I knew how to work the system and I knew how to get under people's skin.
You're the dangerous one.
I knew how to get the teacher off track, get her talking, get class to procrastinate. But I got A's.
I know exactly who you are. Yeah. Like I've had those kids in my classroom plenty of times. Like, no, I know what you're doing. Sit back down.
Oh, yeah.
We're not doing this.
Exactly.
I can see that happening. Braiden, I appreciate you hanging out with us, hanging out with Kyle, and enjoy your off season.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
That was awesome.
I hope you get that elk before you're out of there.
Oh, it better.
You need to like vlog or something. You're like just so entertaining to listen to.
Well, I've actually thought about if I like when I make it to the big leagues, just start a Twitch channel.
Yeah,
like Blake Snell. Oh yeah, like Veen.
Snell.
God, Blake Snell is so funny. I had a funny story about him.
Share it, whatever.
He came to UW one time, and I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but he pretty much talked about how to the pitchers, how all of you have to work hard. This is such a hard sport. You got to be the best. He goes, most of you just can't wake up and be great like I am. No, you just didn't work hard. He was just born great, born better than everyone. I thought it was so funny.
That is hilarious.
Took the coaches away. He goes, yeah, guys, you all got to just try and be amazing. He's like, I've just God given for me. Sorry.
Certain level of confidence in that.
Yeah, well, he's amazing. So
yeah, like he kind of backs it up in a roundabout way. That's awesome.
It's like, well, you can talk like that when you're that good.
Yeah, exactly. Grant says, good luck on the hunt. Followed you on IG.
So, I appreciate that.
New friendship happening there. Braiden, thank you for hanging out. Enjoy your time, and we'll see you in the spring probably.
Heck yeah. Hey, thanks for having me. You guys take care.
Thanks, man.
Peace.
Thank you for watching and listening. Please check out our link tree for more content.